You know, Darius, I think it's really interesting that you all were able to open this up to such a broad swath of the population in Charlotte, and that you had 30% that came through that were diverse people of diversity. And I think the reason this is so important is, to this point, I do think that those who are connected, those who are wealthier, have probably gotten a larger portion of the vaccines that have been out there. If you happen to be connected to a hospital group, you're far more likely to have gotten this. I think that this model is interesting for that reason alone, to make sure that it's an equal opportunity for everybody to be coming through the doors. I worry about that a lot. How did you guarantee that anybody and everybody could get in? Did you just have to sign up by, I guess, hitting refresh, trying to get an appointment? How did it work?
Well, I got to give all the credit to Atrium Health for that, but they basically opened up some of the schedule more to some of the diverse groups, some of the church groups and so on, to make sure that they had access to some of the scheduling. And because of that, we were able to really get that kind of a representation, which is terrific. And obviously that's been a challenge. It's going to continue to be a challenge. And I do think, I have an opinion on this, that we also have to really support this at the national level. And there's an effort by the BRT, the Ad Council, supported by Salesforce, and will be supported by Honeywell as well, where we really get some influencers, whether it be political figures, entertainers, athletes and so on, that really demonstrate that they're embracing this vaccination effort, that they're taking the vaccinations themselves. And, even if this sort of, jumping out of line concept, the number of vaccines that would be required to really on TV vaccinate some of these people is inconsequential versus the benefit we're going to have in a more equitable distribution of the vaccine itself. So I'd really hope that we see more of this kind of advertising national support, because we'll work it at our local level, like we did here with partnership with Atrium and the Panthers. But we really need some broader help at a national level through the Ed Council efforts, and hopefully many like it.
Well, to that point, you said that you like watching Dr. Scott Gottlieb, when he's on with us. He has definitely given us a ton of great information on this. He's been of the opinion that we should really roll these vaccines out to the big boxes, to the Walmarts, to the CVSs, to the Walgreens, because those are in everybody's neighborhoods and it's easier for them to access it. And that would do the same thing, really open it up to the general population to make sure that anybody and everybody can get access to that. That's kind of counter to the method that you all have put forth here. How do you kind of square up those two different ways of going at this?
Yeah, well, I think for now it's really kind of a moot point, because we really still have a constraint on the number of vaccines that are available. But, frankly, each state should be using up the vaccines every week that they're allocated. So, the delta between administered and actually distributed every week should be zero. They should be consumed on a weekly basis. So right now, there's still very much a constraint. But hopefully in a few weeks' time, there won't be any constraint. And I really applaud what Walmart and Starbucks and the CVS and so on are doing there. It's terrific. But if we really want to move this very, very quickly and efficiently in facilities that are really designed for high traffic, like speedways, like large stadiums, I don't think that there's any other way to get a vaccine into people's arm every 4.5 seconds. I mean, that's what we accomplished at U of A. And I think, we got to do this in phases. And I absolutely think that there's a place for the Walmarts, the CVSs, and so on. But I think if we have to prioritize distribution and speed matters, I think you have to go to these mass vaccination centers. And this is back to the queuing problem, which is, do you really want to design the system for efficiency and speed or convenience? And I would argue that for now, until we really get this up and running, once there's no vaccine restraint on capacity, we really have to design the system for speed and efficiency.
Darius, very quickly before you go, you mentioned that you got help from the governor of North Carolina on doing this. Have you had any conversations with the Biden administration?
No, not recently, but we're looking forward to that. And we'd love to engage, whether it's sort of some of the best practices, some of the technologies that we had, because, whether it's some of our software, some of our AIDC technologies and so on, we can contribute that. I mean, I'll give you an example. For example, people were standing there with clipboards filling out forms. We looked at that. We applied our software and AIDC technology. And that step went from 12 minutes to less than 30 seconds. So we're looking to engage, and and hope to engage with the Biden administration very soon. And I think we can add some value to the discussion.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.